Chapter 39. Grilled. Pulling a suspect is a tricky business. If you bust them at home or at work, someone is going to know that it happened, and then a whole bunch of other people, including criminals and bent police officers, are going to see them getting dragged into the police station. If Simeon Benteen was arrested and questioned in the normal manner, Major D and Sasha Thompson would probably learn all about it. To get around this, Chloe spent the whole of Wednesday following Simeon to see how he lived his life. Interrogation wasn't Chloe's specialty, so she asked her old boss John Jones to come down from Cherub campus and help out the following day. She told her liaison with the Bedfordshire Police what was going to happen, but there are strict rules about arresting, cautioning, and threatening suspects, and Chloe was going to break almost all of them. To make life even trickier, Simeon worked out of a dilapidated office above a shop less than 200 metres from the Green Pepper Cafe, so there were always going to be slasher boys in the neighbourhood. The brass plaque beside his front door said that Simeon was an accountant, but Chloe had checked him out and found no evidence that he'd earned any of the initials engraved after his name. John and Chloe watched from inside a workman's cafe as Simeon arrived for work just after 9 a.m. He placed a blue disabled badge in his windscreen before unlocking a door sandwiched between two shop fronts and bounding up a narrow staircase. Once the pair saw the light flicker through the blind in his office window, they headed out of the cafe and cut between the rush hour traffic. They didn't give Simeon time to settle in. They wanted him on edge. By the time the two mission controllers reached the cracked lino at the top of the stairs, Simeon was standing in the reception where his secretary worked, placing a paper filter into a coffee machine. "Good morning," Simeon said warmly as they stepped through his frosted glass door. "I'm afraid I'm not open to the public. If you'd like financial advice, you can make an appointment with my secretary. She's due in at any moment." "Linda won't be here today," Chloe smiled. "I believe she's having some difficulties with her car this morning," John Jones said, as he slid a bolt across the door. "What are you people?" Simeon asked apprehensively. He'd been playing a dangerous game with two gang bosses and clearly feared the worst. "Perhaps we can take this through to your office?" Chloe said gently. "Are you cops?" It wasn't that Simeon relished getting busted, but at least cops wouldn't blow his brains out. "In your office," John said firmly, pulling back his overcoat to show that he had a gun. "Sit down and we'll talk matters over." John's demeanour, and Chloe being female, was enough for Simeon to decide that they were cops. "I could have you for this," he said, wagging his finger as he sat down. "There's proper procedure." "There certainly is," John said, as he reached across the desk and pulled Simeon's phone off the hook. "But you can't make a complaint if you don't know who we are." "The security services are always interested in the drug business," Chloe said, as she flashed a fake MI5 ID. "Drug smugglers and terrorists are almost interchangeable when you get to the top level." "But a man should only have one master," John added. Chloe smiled. "And a man with two should at least have the common sense to switch his mobile phone once in a while." "If you have information, arrest me," Simeon boomed, sweeping his hand through the air. "Otherwise, get out of my face." "We could arrest you," John said. "But you're not that big a fish. We're more interested in what might happen if recordings of conversations between yourself and Sasha Thompson slipped into the hands of Major D," Chloe said. "What was it you said yesterday?" "Don't worry, Sasha, old friend. I'll be sending some juicy business your way soon." John nodded. And the amount of paperwork we have to fill in if we bust anybody these days, it would be so much easier to have Major D deal with matters. Simeon ran nervous fingers through his graying stubble. Will you pay me for information? John and Chloe both laughed. We think you're making enough already, John said. We're looking at the big picture here, Chloe said. You're leaking information so that Sasha Thompson can rip off Major D. If you can tell us exactly where it's going to take place, the cops can set up surveillance and tape the whole show. Simeon shrugged. You don't need me for that if you're listening to my phone calls already. It's a one-shot deal, Chloe explained. We want to know every detail, not just what goes between you and Sasha over the telephone. If we get it right, we'll have strong evidence of Major D, Sasha Thompson, and all of their little helpers handling drugs and guns. And what happens to me? Simeon said. They'd kill me, in prison or out. I'll need full immunity and a free ride out of the country. You're not getting immunity, John said. But we'll turn a blind eye long enough for you to move your assets out of the country and ship out to Jamaica or wherever else you think you'll be safe. I know that's not perfect, but it's better than an appointment with Major D's cordless drill. Simeon sucked air between his teeth. It could be difficult, he said. Very tough to get Sasha and the Major together at one time. They're both cautious men. The Mad Dogs are a small crew, Chloe said. Sasha coordinates all of the big robberies personally. Simeon steepled his fingers and nodded. There is one way, but... But what? John asked. Major D rarely handles major deals himself. But he's desperate to stop the Mad Dogs stealing from him. If the Major was tipped off about being robbed by the Mad Dogs, he'd be in on the ambush for sure. John whistled. So, you tip Sasha off about a drug deal. You also find a way to tip Major D off about being robbed. And the cops will be on hand to film the entire show. It's quite a plan, Simeon, Chloe said. Maybe you could balance a ball on the end of your nose at the same time. I'm 53 years old, Simeon replied. I don't want to go to prison, and I don't want Major D to kill me. I'm not stupid. People at your level only approach people like me when the game is already rigged. I'll work with you, but I have a solicitor in London. I want paperwork drawn up guaranteeing me safe passage out of the country, signed by whoever my solicitor wants it signed by to make it legal. Sounds fair, Chloe said. But what's our time scale for you setting this up? Are we talking weeks, months, or what? Major D has 2 or 3 large shipments of cocaine coming out of Jamaica every week, Simeon explained. But Sasha needs time to plan carefully. And I suppose the police would need time to set up surveillance too? Absolutely, Chloe nodded. Then perhaps 10 days. There's regular shipments that come in by container. I've never mentioned it to Sasha because it's one of Major D's mainstays. Chloe looked baffled, but John understood. You earn plenty out of Major D, John clarified. You only want Sasha to skim off some cream, not to destroy the whole Slasher Boys organisation. Precisely, Simeon nodded. I have a friend who can give me exact information on the delivery of cocaine by this afternoon. I can tell Sasha about the delivery immediately, but letting Major D know that he is likely to be robbed is more complex. I'll have to put some thought into exactly how we achieve that. Obviously we can help you out, Chloe said. But now you're working for us, you'll have to stay in touch. And we'll need to know where you are at all times. Simeon stood up and reached casually across the desk to shake hands. "If you're fair with me, you'll have no problem," he said,